Item was that in the last minutes I was told to look into the incidents at animal control. Currently, I talked to the emailed the investigator today, and he told me this. I thought the case was done, but it said it was still under investigation. We did release the young man that was there. He's still under probation. That's not exclusively the reason that he was let go, but we did release him without prejudice in that situation. And there's still other things that I need to check in on. There was another incident with some cats in a trap. Those have been had necropsies done on them. I can read you what the comments from the pathologists say, but they're not. Basically, they say there's no specific cause of death to determine, and there is a potential of toxicity by an agent that does not induce morphologic changes. In other words, there's a potential there that the animals could have been poisoned or had something else from the environment that caused the death. There's also issues. Both of these animals were in very bad condition prior to this situation. One had lesions in the lungs and various other things. There was already significant tissue degradation, which may have masked some of the other things. But I also talked to Dr. Moore, and he's reviewed the autopsies and said that he did not find any fault with animal control in this instance. I have sent emails to both the veterinarians that did perform the necropsies and asked them if they would put this into layman's terms that's more easily understandable for layman's terms. So I'm waiting on something back from University of Georgia on that. That's where we stand right now.
There were two kittens in that instance?
There was also, I believe, a kitten that was in such bad shape that they went and euthanized it.
And they were in a cage. Is it common to have two kittens, both
no, these were adult cats that were.
Oh, they were adult cats?
Mm-hmm. Now,
they got in the sun in a trap that was set that was not chewed.
The trap was only out for 4 hours. Again, the findings are negative as far as fault, but the issue is normally we give traps to people that are trapping. We don't normally set those traps. And we need to make sure with the Animal Control Committee that they establish good protocols with this same situation with the incident that happened at Animal Control. Better protocols need to be set so that those things won't repeat, and you have an SOP committee working on things so some of those incidents people won't get jammed up on.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
If our county manager is a supervisor of this department, I think that he should be aware of protocols himself and go ahead and put some in place instead of putting this on an animal control committee made up of individuals. There ought to be some protocols in place that doesn't happen again.
I'm more than willing to that, but my understanding was I was to wait on the results of the Animal Control Committee.
So if you're going to let animals die while you're waiting, I mean, I would think that you would want to put something in place and have it in place immediately when you have a problem. And if the Animal Control Committee comes back later,
I don't see the protocol. From what I see, the protocol wouldn't have made any difference on these animals unless you could have maybe gotten into, see them within an hour. They were very emaciated.
I'm not talking just about that. You just said there were protocols that need to be put in place by the Animal Control Committee.
Greg,
yes, sir.
Could you put in sort of emergency procedures in place so that this doesn't happen until we're able to sit down with animal control?
Well, and I've gotten some directives, suggestions from the Sheriff's Department as well, as far as when staff's in there and the facility's closed, it's closed and lock the gate so that people don't have the appearance that it's open to the public, things like that.
We don't want this to happen again. I mean, I understand it's coming back and clearing us, but we want to make sure it doesn't happen while we're waiting. I understand what Commissioner Patrick is saying.
Mr. Chairman, also, if we're going to close the gates and lock them, when is the public going to be allowed in? When are we going to adopt that? When's the public going to see in?
9 to 1, Monday through Friday, and by appointment.
That's fine.
Well, 9 to 1, Monday through Friday, the gates usually close. Or they're in there cleaning and you're not allowed to go in there.
It's best if people, it takes away from staff time for them cleaning, but 9 to 1 is supposed to be the hours, and
Okay.
we're gonna,
Mr. Chairman, I think it's very good that we have taken some action regarding staff responsible, at least in part, for any of these issues. But I agree with Commissioner Patrick as well. We need to go ahead and move now to have, and Commissioner Cox as well, but we need to move now on emergency procedures. We can wait on August 2nd. We're going to have standard operating procedures come back from the recommendations, come back from the Animal Control Committee, which is working on them, with my understanding with Dr. Proctor, which is about as good as you could have, is have a professional doing that. So maybe we can make additional specific changes in this in the month of August.
well, and there's other things that can be done, and then Dr. Proctor's we've actually established our first foster home, county-approved foster home for some puppies to go to with her assistance. The situation with, the unfortunate situation with the kitten that had passed away that was observed, motherless cat, don't have staff to stay there 24/7 with them. If you can foster these out, and you may not still, when you get an animal in that poor condition, you still may not be able to save it, let's be honest. But if you have a foster system that say, listen, these animals are beyond what we can take care of, can you take them for a couple of days? Can you take them for a week till they're in a where they're going to be fine in the shelter with the
Well, once again, I think
stuff we're able to run?
we need to see where we came from. Where we came from when I first moved into this county back in the mid-90s, we were just euthanizing animals. If you wanted something done, you'd call the sheriff's department, as I remember, and they'd come out and they'd take the animal off, and somebody'd take it to Butts County and be euthanized. We've come a long way. Doesn't mean we don't need to do better, but we've come a long way in this county. We've got an animal shelter built, which frankly we didn't have until 2005, so we've come a long way. We just need to do better.
Well, we have come a long way, and what I'm asking for is just a matter of, I don't know, I'm not an expert by any means, but maybe you say, before we will set a trap for an animal, someone has to take responsibility, homeowner or whoever, for those animals that are gonna be in there. Because, I don't know how long it takes an animal in a trap if they don't have the proper water or something, because of which they could turn over. To be harmed, we wanna make sure that someone is looking out for it, so we may wanna put that in as a temporary.
Well, normally that is the way it's done.
Well, I'd say probably all the time.
Well, the situation was here, you didn't have a homeowner because the individual was deceased, unfortunately. So those animals, if they had been receiving care
But all I'm
previously.
saying is someone
or
did
without it.
request the trap.
Hmm?
Someone requested the
Animal
trap.
Yeah.
control set the trap, is my understanding. Is that true or false?
That's true, and that's
Okay,
because of the
then animal
circumstance.
control should have been responsible for checking it, period.
All I'm saying is we wouldn't do that anymore.